everyone, and welcome to the Northern Indoor Championships 2011. We're here this week at Eglington Equestrian Centre to present to you the third leg of the Irish Alltech Grand Prix Autumn League. With us here this evening we have some very interesting riders to jump this track built by Peter Gillespie. We're going to speak to Kieran O'Brien, show host and organiser, Janet Curry, and some numerous of the riders as they walk the track. With me now we have Mrs. Janet Curry, the Ulster Region's Secretary of Show Jumping. Janet's been one of the long members of this committee here and is going to talk us briefly now through some of the show's history. Janet, this show dates back to 1984. There's some very memorable Grand Prix here. Of all the Grand Prix here, which was your favourite?
I think some of the favourite ones have had to be when Trevor Coyle, who started out just up the road here, won on Bank Strike comes to mind, and of course the Great Cruising. And Trevor now based on the continent, but he started his education here in Eglinton.
Janet, cruising was one of the only of two competitors, and Trevor Coyle, to do actually the double, to win the Masters the night before and the Grand Prix the following day. The only other one was David Simpson with A Daughter of Cruising, Cruise With Me, which was another local win.
Yes, that was a memorable day. Someone put up money for the double and no one thought it could be done, but David Simpson did it on Cruise With Me.
Last night there was the Masters class here. Another local rider was the won the Masters, was Christian Coyle, and Christian is going to be in the Grand Prix this evening. How do you think it'll fare? Can it be done again?
Well, there's always that hope. He went very well last night. The Masters was one of the great Masters because we went to 4 rounds, which is all you can do, and then it was the last person to jump that actually won, which is also another great feat, to have the person to jump the highest course. With
me now we have Kieran O'Brien, Chairman of Eglington Equestrian Centre. Kieran, you've been part of this equestrian centre for a long time, and this show's been running since 1984. You've put a lot of work into the show so far. Has it went according to plan, and has it been a successful show?
It has. So far everything's been going well. We've had no major hitches at the show, and very good success. We've a lot of entries, and by the time the Grand Prix finish tonight we'll have almost 1,000 horses have jumped over the 4 days of the show.
That's fantastic. So I'm sure you're very, very pleased with that.
We are. The club committee here put an awful lot of work into that. It's a completely voluntary club here, and we've put a lot of work into this over a few months planning this show, and it's very nice to see the reward of a good entry of competitors and plenty of spectators enjoying this great spectacle here.
There's always a very unique atmosphere at this show, and it gets a lot of support from local people as well as competitors. There's always been a lot of interest around the show and hype every year.
That's right. It is unique because the arena here is different. It's a different shape. The grandstand here is very, very close. To say ringside seats is no exaggeration here.
Yes.
And that creates a special atmosphere that I don't think you get in many other places. And you know, last night at the Masters it was absolutely electric here, and I've no doubt that the Grand Prix here is going to be the same tonight.
It definitely is a unique atmosphere here, and the seats, as you mentioned, is very close to the horses. Will this have an impact on the riders and horses tonight?
Most certainly will. We've already seen it here today on a few occasions today. Some of the jumps close, and you can see horses, especially the younger horses, struggling when they're very close. But I mean, the experienced horses in the Grand Prix probably won't feel that, but certain horses will certainly freeze in this arena where they may not in other ones. And we've seen some very interesting courses here from Peter Gillespie this week, and the speed class yesterday was a fantastic course, and it had not only his trademark quadruple up the middle, but he had a closed combination right in here along the seats, jumping into the judges' box, and I think it's the first time anybody in County Derry has seen such an obstacle, and certainly a lot of horses had never seen it before, but it jumped very well, very well, and again a fascinating spectacle for spectators.
You'll be looking for Peter back again then?
Oh, most definitely we will, yes.
He built in Cavan 2 weeks ago with 68 starters and only 5 went clear with 3 double clears. Surely you'll be hoping for a higher percentage of clears tonight?
Well, you would always be hoping for that, but sure, we don't know at the time. But tonight we're taking the top 8 at Eglinton, always down through this, the 28th show, and we've for a long number of years we take the top 8 back, and so on most years here we have seen maybe a few 4-faulters get into the second round, and that guarantees, of course, that the jump off still will be exciting. And when you have a packed audience like this, I think it's very important to make sure we don't end up with maybe just 1 or 2 clears, and we want to please all these people sitting in the seats here tonight with some fantastic show jumping.
Well, hopefully that will happen. Last year Peter Smith won this Grand Prix with Willem, and he is also a contender tonight with 2 points ahead in this Autumn League. Can he do it again?
There's no doubt that he can, and Peter's been on great form, but history is certainly against him, because in the 27 previous runnings of this show, James Kernan remains the only man to have ever defended his title successfully. James Kernan back in the early 2000s won it here back to back. And the other big thing, of course, history that's against Peter on Willem, is that the same horse has never ever won the Eglinton Grand Prix twice.
I hope he does, as Willem's obviously a favourite of ours.
I'm sure you do, but again, that'll be a first. That'll be history tonight if Willem was to win here, because even the great Cruising won this Grand Prix, and he couldn't win it a second time. He couldn't
defend it. Yeah. But mentioning Cruising, he was, as we talked to Janet about slightly earlier on, was one of the only 2 horses to do the double here. Cruise With Me being a daughter of hers, who's Edmund Simpson, the owner, is going to speak to us quite shortly.
Well, actually 3 horses. Maryland's Magic did it for Francis.
Also did it, yeah.
Yes, Maryland's Magic did it for Francis Connors, and Cruising with Trevor Coyle, and Cruise With Me. Edward Doyle won it, both the Masters and the Grand Prix in the same year, but on 2 different horses. And Trevor Coyle, of course, is 4 times winner here, and holds the record for the most wins in this competition, but it again was on 4 different horses. So if we can see Peter and Willem won tonight, that certainly will be history.
Christian Coyle, winning the Masters, will be hopefully trying to get a famous double.
He will, there's no doubt about it, but then again, 5 rounds last night, 1.65 m. The horse done a lot of jumping, and he'll be some horse to come back and go around this course tonight again, but we'll see. I'm sure Christian will.
As a local, we wish him all the best. Thanks, Kieran. With me now we have Edmund Simpson. Edmund's a local here who's the owner of Cruise With Me, who's one of the horses we spoke about who won the famous double, the Masters on the Saturday night and the Grand Prix here with Edmund's son David Simpson. David's obviously not here jumping this evening. He's based elsewhere now. Edmund, you'll be missing him.
I am, yeah, because we grew up with this show and we loved it. The atmosphere here, I think people should look at it from a show jumping point of view. You'll never get a better atmosphere. The crowd is on top of the thing. The atmosphere is fantastic, and you'll see the crowd here tonight. It's packed.
Yeah, we spoke to that with Kieran. It gives it a very unique atmosphere with the riders so close to the seats, and the atmosphere makes it more electric.
Oh, it's fantastic even as a spectator. So we grew up watching this, and it was always David's goal to win this and secretly to win the double, because you had a Cruising mare, and the previous one to win it was Cruising himself
with Trevor Coyle. Also, as Kieran pointed out just earlier, another double winner was Francis Connors with Maryland's Magic.
Yeah, competition wasn't great that year.
I'm sure.
No, it takes a particularly good horse. David was the only one to win it with the £5,000 bonus.
Well, that made it all the more special, I'm sure. There was celebrations in the Simpson house that night, and probably all week.
Absolutely, and I sponsored it the next year, and Dermot Lennon won the Masters in Hallmark Elite.
And who went on to do amazing classes. It was 4th in one of the World Cup.
And went on to win the Grand Prix the following year, but there was no bonus for that.
Dermot's in it this tonight with Hallmark Elite. He's one of the entries running in this Grand Prix. As we spoke to earlier of Willem and Peter Smith, last year's winner. As we mentioned, a big favourite of mine, obviously.
No, it does take a very special, and Willem has gone on and done fantastic things in terms of the 7 and 8 year olds in Dublin, and it does take a special horse and really a special rider when you think down the Edward Doyles, Trevor Coyles, down through the years of the people, Peter Smith, the people who have won this. It's it's a tight arena. It takes, the horse has to be good, the rider has to be good. It's as I say, it's one we really wanted to win.
It'll take a horse with a lot of concentration to go round this arena at that height tonight, with the crowd so close and some of the fences verging on jumping right into the crowd.
Yeah, that you're always, when you're walking a track, you're always looking to see what is the horse seeing when it's jumping a fence. And in Eglinton, there is a lot to see. And in that, you're, as you say, you're jumping through at the crowd. It's tight. It brings a horse on a lot this arena. And I would like to say something about the surface here. The surface here is an old surface. It's a mixture of clay and natural earth, and it's a fantastic surface to jump on. Everybody knows my views on silica sand. You'll never see a horse hurt in this arena.
There will be a good kick-off at then tonight for the riders.
There's both a good kick-off, but better still, horses continue to jump on this thing.
And feel comfortable the whole way.
Yeah, absolutely. They don't get sore shoulders. And that's why. Well, it is obviously the double is difficult to do because the Masters itself is a very tight, tough competition that goes to 5 rounds. And in David's case, it was with Conor Swale, and as Conor said on the night when he was going in to jump the last round, he was on Gold Digger. And he says, this was not the plan. But it's always a very exciting competition. But your horse has jumped a lot before. Now Dermot didn't take hallmark in the
Masters,
so he's obviously serious about the Grand Prix.
Christian did, however, jump the Masters and won the Masters and is in the running order for tonight's Grand Prix. Also local. Could he do it again?
I think Christian's a great rider, and he done a fantastic job last night. No, I would love another local to win it.
But whether it can be done or not remains to be seen.
Remains to be seen. I think Christian gave such a fantastic display last night. It'll be tight.
The horse will be tired.
I will, and when you see some of the horses, Willem and Hallmark will eat in against him. It'll be a big ask.
Who's your predictions then for this evening? Who do you think will be in the run-up, if not first?
You have to go with Peter Smith and Dermot Lennon.
Gabriel Slattery's also here.
Yeah, I'll go with those two.
Could be a contender also.
Oh, absolutely. No,
it could be anyone.
Christian could, but I'll go with those two.
Okay, thank you, Edmund. With me now we have Eddie Kelly. Eddie, what have you think of the course so far tonight? Have you had a look at the track?
I have a look. I had a look stuff. It's a fairly tight Grand Prix, and it's pretty narrow in there. I think but it's going to be a tight Grand Prix. Yeah, it's a good stuff course.
Who would you like to see win? Have you any predictions for us?
No predictions, but probably like to see a local horse win it. I watched the Masters last night, and it was very, very good. Christian won it, as you know. Probably a local horse, Willem maybe. Bob Barnes' horse. I'd like to.
We all keep voting for Willem here tonight for the home side.
I have horses with Peter myself, and I think Willem. Christian's horse, I'd say he's too tired after the Masters last night, so I'll be cheering for Willem.
You'll be cheering for Willem. You have a horse, KC Purple Pineapple.
That's right,
you'll be hoping he comes to this level maybe for next year?
That's the plan. We're hoping for it. She's very good there. She was refusing a 110 last year, and she was 6th on the 130, which is a good stuff 130 today, and she was 6th on it, double clear. Bit of confidence. That's the plan, hopefully.
So the plan is Grand Prix circuit next year for you, Eddie?
Nothing less.
With me now we have Daniel Coyle, a local rider here who has 3 entries in this Grand Prix. Daniel, what's your chances like for this evening?
One of my horses jumped the Masters last night. Was supposed to jump this class, but I'm not jumping her in it now. I jumped her in the 130, and she was 2nd. And jumping Lindsay's other horse, Top Shelf, it didn't go so well last night. So hopefully it'll be better tonight. I've Joe McElroy's Special Leap. He's only a 7-year-old. I don't know. I honestly don't know what it'll do. And Sharon Callahan's horse was supposed to jump this, but he took an injury earlier in the week and not going to be fit to jump now.
What do you think of the track? Up to height, big?
It looks fairly normal so far. I've only walked so many fences, but it looks normal so far. I think he's looking for a good class more than a big jumping class,
You've had a successful show here over the last few days, so you'll be hoping to add to that this evening, if nothing else.
A good day on Friday. First in 3 classes. and the day I just can't win. Second twice and just can't get the one.
Maybe tonight. You're a local rider here, Daniel, and a very big fan base here of girls. So if you would win tonight, which girl would you be liking to win for? Would you like to mention any of them?
I think it would be myself. I would have to win for no girls. I think it would be more myself, no girls.
Not tonight.
Not tonight, no girls.
Maybe if you win.
Maybe if I won I might get a girl, alright, but not for now.
Gabriel, would you like to give us a few words? With me now we have Kelly Taggart. Kelly, you're jumping this Grand Prix tonight. What do you think of the course?
It's okay. It's nice and spacious, and it's nice distances and everything, so it should be okay. Should jump well.
What horses have you in the competition?
Just the one, a grey horse by Eglinton. He hasn't done much, he's not very experienced. Just this year, this will be his first senior Grand Prix, and mine as well.
You won the last class, you'll be delighted with that?
Yeah, very, very pleased.
What's your plan for your horses here this evening?
To ride the distances as they're built, and just to hopefully get a clear round.
Do you think there'll be many clear rounds from the first round?
Yeah, do. Quite a few.
Be a strong jump off?
Yeah.
With me now we have Mary McShane, another competitor for this evening's Grand Prix. Mary, which horses have you in the class this evening?
I have a horse called Java's Wild Child. He's only a 7-year-old, so I will be kind of using this as a bit of a schooling round for him, and it'll be quite tight for him.
Have you had a good look at the track? What do you think?
I think it's fair enough, maybe for smaller horses. The distances are not bad. I think we'll be able to ride them. It's quite tight in here now.
So if your horse is relatively inexperienced at this level, will the crowd, being so close to the arena, maybe have a factor?
Oh, definitely. It'll definitely have a factor with my horse. He'll be, the atmosphere maybe will get to him a little now, but he'll be okay.
Do you think there'll be many clear rounds?
I think maybe 4 or 5.
A strong jump off then, perhaps if 8 even goes through?
Well, we have a world champion in the competition, Dermot Lennon, and I think Harry Marshall's going, so yeah, it'll be a tight jump off, and there's a few very good up and coming riders in this as well.
So your prediction, you'll go to Dermot?
Dermot, I think Angela Percy might feature in it too, and maybe Harry. I'm not sure who else after that now. Peter Smith probably will definitely feature in it.
Mr. Primrose? Nathan, anyway. Nathan, you're going to jump the Grand Prix. What do you think of the track?
I think it's a fair size for the size of the indoor. The size here makes it a wee bit tricky at times. You don't have too much room off the corner. Yeah, I think it's decent enough.
Is your horse well ready for the class? Experienced or not for this level?
I hope so.
Well, what number are you to go? Sorry? 7th. Okay, wish you luck.
Okay, thank you very much.